listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily, Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text our show on 8 12 15, follow our show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Lost a bit of confidence towards the end, but I think we got through it.
Notice you're reading that again. You used to just barrel through it for a couple of shows, the way you were just...
Easy with the self-analysis.
I've lost a bit of...
No, I'm analysing him.
I've generally lost a bit of confidence.
Oh.
Have you? Why's that then?
Oh, it's a number of difficult things in my life.
Well, what's going on?
Anyway, so,
we missed out on the
This feels like it could be a long 3 hours, doesn't it? A couple of difficult things in my life in the first 30 seconds.
Sorry, I'm moving on. I've told you before, haven't I, that I sleep with a notebook at my side.
Have you?
Do you guys do that?
No.
Just in case you have a brilliant idea in the night.
I think I used to do that, and then, like, I would dream some stand-up and wake up and, like, find the word, like, salad and chocolate or something, and I've obviously dreamt some terrible stand-up routine about putting chocolate in salad, but it makes no sense the next day, does it?
I dreamt virtually a one-man show once.
Oh, good. Are we going to talk about our dreams?
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
I want to talk about a particular dream because...
Is there a shark with bubble gum?
Because I know talking about dreams is...
More
it's
boring
a crime,
than talking about problems.
Punishable by a lethal injection.
Yes.
But it's... I think I have had not a joke dream, but I've had a dream which led me towards an invention, and it's fashion-based.
Oh.
No, I think it
I'm
is
all
possible.
ears, Frank.
Even if a dream, talking about your dreams is dull, people must have dreamt things where they've woke up next morning and thought, that is a good idea.
Yeah.
The only real joke one, and I tried it and it failed, was I dreamt that there was, somewhere in my dream the thing happened, that there was a band called Duck's Nostrils. And the joke was that they were always top of the bill. But I tried it a couple of times, got nothing. I mean, that's the best it's ever gone.
Did all right in here, I thought.
Did you try that out?
But I wrote it down. I woke up and Duck's Nostrils was written at the side of my bed. I mean, imagine if I died in the night, what would my friends and family have made of that?
Yeah.
Well, he left a note, but it was cryptic, to say the least. So, I had a dream that
Martin Luther.
I was wearing a jacket, which everyone was saying that's a fantastic idea, and there was no pockets on it. What I'd done is I'd taken my belongings that I'd normally put in a jacket, handkerchief, keys, Vic inhaler, jeweller's eyepiece, which in the old days I used to use as part of my lovemaking ceremony.
Did you?
But
Don't use that word. That's repulsive.
what ceremony?
Absolutely repulsive.
We don't stand on ceremony here. And in the dream...
It's returning.
So I was wearing a jacket, and all the belongings that I'd normally put in my pockets were stuck to the outside of the jacket with duct tape.
Very good.
Is it duck or duct?
So,
I think it's...
Is it duck as in that well-known band?
Top of the bill.
Duck's Nostrils.
I think it's both
It's ducked with a T.
I think it's officially ducked with a T, but I think there is a brand of duck as in quack quack.
What, so someone celebrated the mispronunciation?
Yeah. People capitalise on all sorts of things like that, don't they, for
Soon
commercial
people
endeavour.
will be building
Nice
houses
stripy
with
top, by the way, Al.
chimneys on
Thanks
the
very
top.
much.
Really suits
It's
you.
radio.
I know, but I just think
Thank
there's
you.
something of the chic convict about you, and I like
That's
it.
the look I'm going for. Chic convict.
Anyway.
It's very in this SW, summer winter.
A man who used to work next to my girlfriend at work wrote down all the ailments that she claimed during the course of their working together and presented it to her when she left. A great volume of hypochondria, one of which was headache caused by wearing stripy dress. So be careful.
I will. I'll let you know.
So the duct tape.
Yeah, so all my stuff, all the keys and everything, were all on the outside, just rough. And people were saying to me, that is what a really fantastic idea. What do you think about it?
Sorry, when you say people were saying
People in my
that to you,
dream.
In the dream, yeah.
that was a good idea. Even in a dream.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's the sort of thing I could imagine an avant-garde fashion designer listening to this thinking, you know what?
Yeah.
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, they've done safety pins. Why not?
Philip Salon. Is that his name?
Yes.
I could imagine him going duct tape belongings.
Was the duct tape, was it neat, or was it...
No, that's the whole
haphazard?
idea. It was a bit jagged at the edges, like it might have been assisted by teeth intervention.
Okay.
Nice.
You know, I thought you'd all be saying that's a fantastic idea.
think it is a
It
good
hasn't
idea.
gone at all like I thought it would.
It's an alright idea.
Curious as to what sort of reception you were expecting.
My only worry was money. You
Often.
couldn't have like
Talk to the cockerel.
a wad of notes.
I just stuck to your jacket
No,
sleeve.
you couldn't do that.
No,
You'd have to have them somewhere else and have maybe counterfeits on the outside.
Yeah?
Even the keys were a bit of a worry as well.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the contents of a wallet? What about the other
This is like,
content?
this
You
is
can't
like
have that stuck on
the worst
display.
project meeting I've ever had.
Wait, what about your phone? I mean, did this
No,
dream
that
have...
would be there.
What, with the duct tape?
Yeah.
Tape that to your ear. The
No,
phone.
no.
Just have it permanently taped.
No, because I don't know if that...
You
What
could
about
put
your
the tape
Oyster
right around your head
card?
like Terry Butcher. but with
Oyster
the
card
phone in.
all be fine. I don't... Probably,
Credit
Tape-
cards?
Tape the
Leave
Oyster
behind
card
me.
to your hand.
it's this sort of, you know, when... this is why Columbus died in poverty. All that stuff. Oh, I wouldn't bother. I think it probably is flat.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I wouldn't mind doing another in our series, The Past,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
in which I talk about the past and see if things are still continuing into the present.
As I pointed out last week, you are, in your own way, the voice of history, aren't you?
The voice of history. I was watching something the other day and I saw I saw a phenomenon and I thought, oh, does that still happen? It wasn't very old footage, but I associate it with the past. And it was somebody doing that short but tense walk from the police van to the courthouse with
Yes.
the privacy blanket over their head.
Oh, do you know, I love a privacy blanket.
Does it still continue that?
I wonder if it's just pointless now in the world of the social media. I wonder if they're just going, this is coming out eventually.
Well, people tend to wear the hoodie now. I'd put a hoodie on
the hoodie,
if I was
yeah.
convicted of a crime.
Oh no, I'd rather have a privacy blanket than a hoodie at my age. I'd like to think it continues. It's very ad hoc, though. When you first see it, you think, they've just thought, we need to cover him up, and there just happened to be a blanket in there. Then when you
It
saw
was
it,
grey, Frank.
yeah, when you saw it, well, it was black and white for the first 20 years. Imagine the amount of Brill cream it had on it, that one.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
those 50s murderers, they were copious with their hair products.
They went at it.
But they were
Bill Cream.
meticulous.
They were. But I thought it looks as if it was just, we'll put that blanket over him. But then clearly that they kept a blanket specially for that purpose.
Was it in the back of the Mariah, which is a word you don't often hear used
again,
these
no,
days?
again. In the Black Mariah. And they would say, get the privacy blanket.
Yeah.
And there's even a way, you don't just put it over your head like when when you're under the bedspread and you sit up.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hold your hands
What,
slightly.
you get the grey prison blanket out?
Yeah, but you have to slightly hold your hands so it sort of looks like a hovering cloud. I suppose there was more dog excrement in those days, so you have to look where you were stepping. Even in that, one of the most difficult moments of your life.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to step in dog excrement. It's that extra 1% to a tragedy that can push a murderer over the edge. Maybe into a rash confession or something.
Exactly.
Similar. And I've really got... if there's any police people or court officials...
Or 1950s murderers.
Yeah, there might be
Baddies.
one
There
or
could be
two.
a few baddies listen to this that might have the voice of
There
experience.
could be people who know what a privacy blanket looks like from the inside.
Yes.
I'd love to know
I
if
don't
it's
know
still...
if we want to encourage them.
I mean, I would... If I ever get involved in a very heavy-duty crime, I'm going to insist on a beekeeper's hat. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Because it's tantalising, there's a hint of the features,
Yes!
but I don't know if it's really come out in a photograph.
Yeah.
So you just think, nearly there.
I'd go
Yeah.
Wedding Veil, I think. Wedding Veil for me.
I think
would you?
Yeah.
Just because you're a murderer, never lose an element of tease.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were discussing before people that go into jail or court wearing the
privacy blanket.
The privacy blanket. I nearly called it a security blanket then, which I suppose in a way it is. Isn't it?
And I feel confident we're the only breakfast show currently doing that right
Yeah.
now.
I dated someone who always carried a security blanket.
Did you?
Did you?
Not a privacy blanket, can I point that out?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, it would be outside at the most personal of moments.
I'm waiting for the punchline. Is this
No,
true?
there is no
Me too.
punchline. It's just a dark smear from
I thought
my
this
past.
was... No, really?
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, we've had a I mooted the possibility that there
You
might be some
mooted,
people...
get out.
I
I'm sorry. yeah.
mooted the possibility there might be some people that were baddies that listened to the show that had experienced the
Oh, good.
said
I can be
blanket.
one of those moles.
And 023 has texted, I did that walk and there was no blanket offered.
No blanket.
No blanket offered. Mind you, I was just
I'd take
magistrates.
that as a compliment.
He says,
Yeah.
he says, mind you, I was just magistrates, which I think is a lingo for a lighter court, isn't it? If it's
Yeah.
the other
let's-
court.
let's,
Alan trying to
it's
distance
proper
himself
serious, isn't it?
from the
let's,
underworld.
Look, he's done his time.
They continue. I'm not saying it's he or she because it doesn't identify.
No,
so
we
they
don't know.
continue. No press watching. Just leathery women smoking in tracksuits.
I wasn't there.
Tell you what, whoever this is, they've got a turn of phrase, and perhaps some kind of gritty novel might be the way to go.
Well, for all it could be John McVicar.
It could be Andy McNabb, for all we know.
What if it's John Darwin, Canoe Man?
Well, see, I like to think that he was made to carry an upside-down canoe with his head
Instead of a blanket.
his head in the hole where the lower body normally goes, like walking like an enormous pickaxe walking into the courtroom. Darwin! Those are the blokes that were... Anyone...
I don't think his crime was... I don't think he was forced to wear the blanket, though, was he? I mean,
Darwin?
Yeah.
Did he wear a blanket when he was arrested?
Well, I hope not.
He was pretty well identified, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this person, the next question is anyone texted who's been in a police van and heard... What about those people that bang
Why
on
do
the
they
side?
do that?
I've always thought about those people. I can never side with the people that bang on the police. I know often the people in the police van have done wrong things, but often they haven't been actually sent. They haven't been
That's
found
right.
guilty.
I'm still reeling from... They've done wrong things.
But also, those people, I'm always reminded of the foolish villagers in Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
They turn on the beast. He's actually all right.
They turn on that beast like a sixpence, Frank.
Yeah, and all that stuff. Oh, and all that, get the beast. You think, think about what you're doing.
Yeah. At some point they should say, I don't want to be a foolish villager. That's what they should say.
He'd have needed a big blanket, the beast. Well, you better get the king size out.
Yeah. Don't go there with that cushion cover. Look.
I mean, you've got to cover the beast.
He'll need a lot of coverage.
Oh, I must cover the beast. I'll be back in an hour.
Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
What about the neighbour saying, I'm going down to the... I think I might go down to the courtroom tomorrow, shout at the accused. Do a bit of van banging. Fancy coming?
I mean, this is what I
Van
want to
banging.
know about
Yeah.
these people, these bangers.
Well, they have
Do
to
they
arrange
plan
it.
it as a day out?
I think they do. Yeah.
You think they've got refreshments and stuff?
Let's say,
for
yeah,
if it's a
they'll
long
say-
They
one?
must know in advance
They'll
that
say
they're
there's
planning
a-
on doing this. It's premeditated.
Yeah, there's a prep by the courtroom. We'll be all right. Gotta have wait a bit, do some shouting, do the blanket shout, bang on the fan, and then we can, have a coffee and one of them. I like them wraps. Have you had them wraps? No, no, I don't fancy them. They could be. No, they're all right.
I like the idea that they're just daily bangers. They're totally they don't discriminate. They
Do you
don't
think the
mind
same-
who it is.
I think the
think
same
it-
people, if friends invite them just for a coffee, they're like, What? No banging?
So,
Straight to pet and back.
I don't know how often these things happen. I mean, I don't know how often people are led in and out of...
Well, Lee has tweeted us to say the privacy blanket was all he says, actually, he says, no, it was decommissioned in 1987 due to the student revolt. Sad times.
Well, that spitting image you could be talking about. We don't know. I mean, there must have been lots of things decommissioned.
What else was decommissioned in 1987?
Decommissioned?
Yeah, decommissioned, I said that. Colonel Abrahams?
Colonel Abrahams, who's that?
He sung Trapped. Appropriately.
What about Father Abraham, who sang...
you sat next to him at the Brits.
Father Abraham?
Oh. No, you sat next to some man.
Where are you all coming from? Yes, but where are you all going? Oh. Has any murderer ever thought, you know what, now I hear that, I realise I need to rethink how I live my life. You can read all the books, but it took that. Anyway, so I'm on the train, I've looked up.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was on the train the other day, and when I sat, there was a woman sitting next to me, but it wasn't a very busy train. It just happened that we happened to be. It was in first class, and
lovely.
She was sitting next to me, and then the guard person came down and said, "There's quite a lot of empty on-book seats today, so if anybody wants to move out, get a bit more space. It's fine." So this woman got up to move, and I said, well, you know, I take that as a personal slight.
Oh.
You
said that to her face?
Light-hearted.
Lovely.
All right, just some introductory bants from Frank there.
And she said, yeah, sorry about that. I said, it's okay, I've been knocked back before. And then I thought, oh,
That's
that went...
a bit flirty.
Yeah, I
It
thought
is,
that accidentally sounded flirty. Anyway, she walked off. She actually went to another carriage. And then they had the double whammy of I hadn't been flirty, but I did feel I'd been rejected by someone who thought I had been flirty.
Yeah.
And it really...
Did you go for a second flirt? Just to double check that it wasn't a full-on rejection?
No, but I did think, you know...
I think you come
You
out
should
of
think
that
yourself.
very well, though.
Why?
Because it just says you're not a filthy creep.
I know, but that woman might have thought I was one. That's my problem.
She just thought you were a bad one, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was doing a reasonably sized favour, in my opinion, and it snagged at me. I didn't give her what we used to call the glad eye. That's what, you know, which is a fabulous. When you think about it,
I love the glad eye.
It's a poetic phrase, isn't it? Because it's not something you'd arrive at. If you had a meeting about what you were going to call that flirtatious look, wouldn't be the first suggestion, would it? The glad eye.
No.
So somebody's gone the extra mile. I love it when
You were
people
just going for
do
a
that.
nice, a sort of harmless. It's to make the day go quicker. Mm-hmm. I do it all the time.
I
do
thought it was bants. That's all I thought it was. Harmless bants. Next thing I knew.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, there's been some slightly shocking news this week, boys. Daniela Craig has announced that
he's off.
Turned down 68 million, I believe.
It sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
To be the new Bond.
It does sound like a lot.
The new Bond. The old
It sounds like a lot, but...
Bond again.
Bond
but
again,
hold on a
sorry.
minute. Once you
To
say...
do the new Bond, I meant.
Well, I think it's two... That's for two films. That's 68 million.
Oh, is that what your cleaner told
that
you?
was the
More of
problem.
which later.
Might get
Frank
me-
used to share a cleaner with Daniela Craig, and then Daniela Craig stole the cleaner. Is that correct?
Well, what happened was she used to clean for Rachel Weisz.
He's talking about the cleaner now, and not Daniela Craig.
Yeah. She cleaned for Rachel Weisz, and then when Daniel moved in, obviously it got messier. Mm-hmm. And so they needed extra hours, and I was the fall guy. No, I was actually the fall guy.
He was Bond and you were the fall
that
guy.
show.
Yeah, he won that battle.
Yeah, so she might come back now, because he hasn't got quite a kudos. Now he's not JB anymore.
That's true.
But that 68 million is for 2 films, for a start-off.
That's right.
Bargain.
And once you take tax and agent commission out, what's he going
Don't
to
take
get?
the glamour away.
27 million.
Do you think it's 27 after
It's
X's?
So then it's 27 million for 2 films.
Is that what it is?
Suddenly.
Yeah.
Do you want to get up for that?
No. I heard that he would have stayed on for one more film, which you'd think would have been like 34 million, but apparently the deal that they were offering was that it was 100 quid for the first one and 67,900,900 for the second one.
I wonder
and
if
it's too big
He
a time
said
commitment.
he's done pure and simple. Those were the words.
He's done pure and simple. What, the fabric softener?
No, the hearsay song.
It's
He's done a cover version
a novelty
of the hearsay
cover.
song.
How good would that be if he just suddenly started doing novelty covers?
The annoying thing is that I bet he can sing, Daniel Craig.
But if he just
no, he
decided,
can't
I'm not
sing.
Bond anymore,
I bet he can sing.
I'm going to do Hearsay's Pure and Simple, I'm going to do Fog on the Tyne from
Yeah.
Paul Gascoigne's.
I think he's an all-rounder.
He'll do Hallelujah. He'll do all X Factor and Pop Idol winner covers. That's his theme.
He
You
could
got to
be
have
an
a theme.
all-rounder as well. He might do a bit of cricket.
Evergreen.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one.
Yes. I wouldn't go so far as to say that.
Absolute
Absolute
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Well, he's done 4 of these films. You don't
Has
want
he?
to get into a James Bond rot
No.
in your life.
I think he hurt his
Well,
knee on one of
I
them
don't
as
know
well.
about
didn't
Oh, well, if he hurt
knee.
his knee.
I think it's difficult for him to
He's-
keep the weight off and the muscles on with a
He
bad knee.
said he had knee problems and general exhaustion, which I thought that's not why Bond retires. That sounds a bit like Red Rum. That's why he retires.
Yeah.
Knee problems and general exhaustion.
I'm ready
What,
for
not a
glue.
horse?
Is he going to be like Red Rum? He's just going to do personal appearances at,
Oh, Frank,
Double
what about
glazed and
those glory
salesman of the year.
days we loved when horses were celebrities?
You know, I did a corporate with Red Rum. I did.
Work with them all. Said it for years, didn't I?
Did he say will drive sell? Which in a way he would have.
Yeah, I arrived on him. Arrived is the term I use. He had to be. They had a special plastic carpeting down in the hall so that he could be led in.
Are you sure that wasn't for David Baddiel?
No, so we were in quite a nice hotel. There was a horse in the room, and people got photographed with him.
Oh, lovely.
And then they took him out, and then yeah,
It's
and,
difficult when you hire an incontinent celebrity, though, isn't it?
yes, well, I've got all that to face, of course. But then I lined up, and they had the photo took with me, and I said, I'm doing stand-up on, and the bloke said, well, yeah, you might as well. But they just wanted a photo, so me and the horse had both been reduced to just meat. Good night.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily, Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
We've received a text saying, I mean, it seems a long time ago that we were chatting about this. Hi, Frank, Alan and the DME.
Divine Miss M.
I'm glad DC, that's Daniel Craig, is not Bond anymore. I couldn't take him seriously in his tight suit. He reminds me of Norman Wisdom. Long-time reader.
I said I look better in a suit than Daniel Craig.
Somewhat
He's
controversially.
You did a little.
Because thin men, they look better than very, very muscular men. And you can't get round the PG tips element of a muscular man in a tight suit.
Yes.
Cup of tea, Mr. Shifter. Have a little copper.
I think it's also because there's been a recent vogue for the Dior-style slim-fit suit on the man.
Yeah, but it's given Daniel Craig has taken a sort of Alexei Sale type look.
Are you suggesting there's an element of hello, John got a new motor to
Well, I think it was-
DC?
In Skyfall, it was hello, John got an old motor. Didn't the old DB5 come out again?
I don't like those
think it
James
may
Bond
have.
cars. They just look old-fashioned, like Coronation Street cars.
Are you sure you should be saying this now? You're a motoring
Oh,
correspondent.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Thanks for that reminder.
It's all right.
No offence to any of my sponsors. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get that he did go pretty far in terms of him saying he wasn't going to return to the role.
Didn't he say he'd rather slash his wrists?
He did.
Yes, he did.
Seems extreme.
Shouldn't have said that. Can we say that anyone at home was thinking of slashing their wrist? Don't do it.
Can we not even say that?
Got it. Okay, let's not even say that.
Okay.
I think it's live. It is live.
Now, what about when the bookies, Frank?
Jeff, is it live? It is live, apparently.
Frank, why?
Well, he said it. Why didn't he get shot down on Twitter for saying such a thing?
Okay.
I suppose if he's playing Bond, he's less scared of being shot down on Twitter because he's used to being shot down.
Well,
just
he's playing. Playing is the key word in that
Also,
sentence.
it's almost like you've got some axe to grind. Like he stole your cleaner.
Yeah.
Look, I was really starting to get into him. The first two films.
Calm down, dear.
I thought he was just
we went
some
together.
pretty fool.
Oh, did you?
We saw. Was it Spectre we saw, Frank?
We did, yeah.
Yeah. And there was that big shootout.
Spectre to rector.
Frank kept saying that throughout it. That was
I was
embarrassing.
very tempted not to say that.
What about when there was that massive shootout and the woman in the Swiss cottage Odeon next to me went, "Oh, I like that sofa."
Nice.
Well, that's not the point.
No. But he was good. I like the last two. I won't say I'll go as far as I'll miss him, but I think he did a good job. Respect to Mundo.
Now the bookies have got busy, as they always do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so certain that Tom Hiddleston's going to get the call that they've called off bets.
They seem very sure.
I thought he was a comic until yesterday.
Tom
No,
Hiddleston.
that's Tom Wigglesworth, isn't it?
He's a good actor.
Is he
isn't
called Tom Wigglesworth?
I was absolutely convinced that Tom Hiddleston was Tom Wigglesworth.
No, I don't think he's going
No,
to...
Tom Wigglesworth did that show about
saw
getting
him.
a train ticket.
I
That's
saw
right.
him just last week, and he didn't even mention that he was about to be playing Bond.
No, but
And
they
I
don't,
thought he
do
was
they?
great, but
It's
I
all
found it
hosh-hosh.
poignant that he only wore one jacket throughout the whole of Edinburgh.
Yeah,
Had the same military coat on.
yeah, that would
I
rule you
saw
out
him.
of Bond, because there's a lot of costume changes in
Well,
that.
they put Tom Hiddleston on 1 to 2. Now, I've never understood odds
2
in my
to 1
whole
on.
life.
They stopped
It said,
betting on him.
it said 1 to 2. What does that mean? 1-2.
That's 2 to 1 on. So if
Oh,
you,
that makes sense. What?
Well, let me explain. I haven't finished yet.
Go on then, because I could
It
do with this
means
as
if
well.
you really, really thought he would win, if
Yeah.
you put 200 quid on it, you'd win 100 quid back.
Well, only
Why?
a fool would do that.
Because they would then return your stake, remember, your initial
okay.
stake, so you get 300 quid. So
Oh,
it's
do
not the
you?
end of the world.
Oh, that sounds all right.
I think
if
I
he's
need to
definitely gonna
establish
get
who
it.
he is before I have any money
He
on
was
it.
That's not Tom
recently in.
Wigglesworth.
He was recently in. Is it High Rise, the movie? British.
He was
movie?
in The Night Manager.
I haven't seen
think,
that as television. I'm more of an art
I was
house
a bit
film
porn
kind of guy.
for middle class
My
people.
choice would be, you know that James Renford?
James Renford. No,
No,
is
you
that-
mean James
is that-
Norton.
No,
Is that
James
a guy that lives
Renford.
on your street or something? Just
He
someone
was
that
in.
you
He was in Bright Burning. Did you see that?
What's
No.
this?
You've totally made these up. This is such a made up.
Come on, you know him. He was the boyfriend in Restitution.
Such a made up.
My God.
This is
who
what I
this?
hear when people talk to me about actors. That's all I hear is words and names like that. They mean nothing to me.
I want to see all those things now.
Well, yeah, I think
I'm gutted that I missed
If
out on
only
the
you had a
first series
writer in
of
the family, Frank, you could do that
Restitution.
for us.
Bright Burning, the first series was amazing. Second series,
petered out a bit.
yeah.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I'd have liked Daniel Craig to have just done 2 more for the money, but be blatantly not that bothered about being a very good James Bond. Like,
That would have been awkward, wouldn't it?
just
Yeah.
as Emily would say, just pull the ripcord. If Bond was suddenly like this fat guy, maybe
What
an
would they
earring.
have done? I wonder if it's in his contract if there's an upper weight limit. So you can't do that because they must have to have some safeguards.
Well, I suppose he could get around that by going the other way. Just go lower weight limit, and suddenly all Bond's old suits don't fit him. Like, Bond's lost a lot of weight. Is he?
No, but a clinically obese Bond would be fantastic. Double X7.
I would love
That
that.
would be so fantastic. The women just going, what happened to you?
Let yourself go, James.
Well, 27 million take-home pay. What do
Yeah,
you think I spent it on? Sweets.
brackets over the course of 2 films.
I
not
nearly
one.
said sock then, because that's what we used to call sweets when I was a kid,
No.
and I
Was
realised
it?
you can't
You
say it
never.
anymore. Yeah.
Oh.
I'll get you some sock on the way back.
So people are saying, Frank, that Tom Wrigglesworth has already met with
Hiddleston.
Broccoli and Mendes.
Really?
Hmm.
And
I think we'd know that, wouldn't we? Wouldn't it be like when Ashley Cole met with
yes,
met with people from
I think you're right.
Manchester United or whatever?
Poldark's in the running.
I don't like the idea of Poldark getting it. I've never seen Poldark, but the only thing I know about that guy is that he had like a shaved chest and he was in photographs with a scythe, wasn't he? Didn't he?
That's what he shaved it with.
Yeah.
That was Death.
Oh,
was
yeah,
it?
Death.
Yeah.
Poldark, Death.
Yeah, see, I don't want Death playing Bond. I'd rather...
It's because
if he's going to have a scythe, I think he should be a baddie.
You've got mixed up dark and pole, you know, like one of them poles.
Very
that
easily
people
confused.
die
It's good I've
next
got
to.
you guys to keep me on track.
Other candidates, Damian Lewis.
Again, no idea.
You do know him.
I don't. Who is that? I thought that was a motor racing driver. I'm not joking. If
He's
someone
got the
had
red
said to me,
hair.
He's red
hair now.
Well, someone's,
Yeah, I'm not...
Someone said no one will accept a
I don't know him, but I
Bond with red hair, which I thought
like
was
the
terrible.
cut of his jib.
Well, so do I.
Well, he's described. I've read a few of the Bond books, which I must say I really like.
Oh, really?
And he's supposed to look like Hoagie Carmichael.
Restitution.
And everybody tuned into the show reached for a phone for Google Images.
Hoagie Carmichael got very black hair, slight long fat. He's got a sort of a young Kevin Spacey look to him, Hoagie Carmichael.
Okay.
Right. Maybe they should use Kevin Spacey.
Well, he's a bit old now.
You think?
And also more of a 7. He would have been a great Bond, I think, wouldn't he? I don't think you have to be Mr. Muscular.
No.
You know.
Well, he's sort of clever.
agree.
I mean, the scene
Yes.
that sticks in my mind from the first one I read was him sitting naked on a chair with the bottom took out of it, and a man whipping him with a cane across his...
You know we're on Breakfast Radio, don't you?
Yes, dot.
You know
that
who
was one of
else?
the scenes. So it wasn't... It was like... There was a vulnerability to Bond.
Yeah.
Which...
You know who else got a mention was Chris Evans.
Hello?
No, Captain America.
Oh, that one,
The
okay.
Top Gear.
I'm going to say he's going to be busy.
And
Yeah.
Tom
Could bring his own sports cars, though, if it was Chris Evans, couldn't he?
Hardy.
Tom Hardy's been in the running.
Too big. What does he look like in a suit?
Oh, yeah.
Like
definitely.
a Doric column in
That
a
would
suit,
be...
I would imagine.
if he was in a suit, it'd be like rugby player on cup final day,
Yeah.
you know, that sort of...
Yeah,
Cumberbatch?
9.5.
Cumberbatch.
You say Tom Hardy, I say Tom Harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cumberbatch, well, I know him.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
good.
He is good.
Yeah.
Vulnerable.
Is he vulnerable?
He's got the vulnerable look, do you think?
What about James Norton? He was on your portrait show.
Too young.
Don't know him.
Christian Bale, too angry.
Christian Bale. Idris Elba's getting talked about a lot.
Oh,
isn't he?
anyway, this is just... To me, these are just names.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, that is what they are.
I know Idris Elba, but it does make me think of the ginger beer. Do you remember that
Ginger
Idris? Oh, it's lovely. It's the best.
Is that what it was called?
What's that?
They did a nice shandy as well.
Don't know what
Of course,
you're
I
talking
can't
about.
have a shandy anymore. Idris, it was a soft drinks company.
All right.
I imagine it's long gone, but who knows? Yes, well, anyway, it'll be one of those people. Almost certainly. Hello?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
might.
we're not disputing
It just
that.
might.
Yes.
What about Craig Revel Horwood?
What about Daniel Craig Revel Hall?
Because, yeah.
What if they've got to be called Craig?
I predict it'll be one of those actors that's posh and good looking.
Do you think?
You know those sort of actors you get?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's fine, though, because they can't have, like, you or I as an accent on Bond, can they?
You
Well,
can't
why
have
not?
Birmingham Bond, Frank.
No.
Why not?
No.
All the main roles.
You don't get a Birmingham Spies.
Of course
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do.
No, you don't.
You
All
can't
right,
have
so
that.
going to Broad Street, you're not going to get the MI5 in Broad Street.
Yeah.
Well, there must be spies with regional accents.
There
surely.
must.
Can any
But not for
spies in
television.
Birmingham text in 81215? We won't out you.
We've already had somebody who was under a blanket.
I
call.
genuinely want to know if anyone's heard of a spy from Birmingham.
Of course, there are spies from the
Well,
regional.
Let's.
I don't know
see.
what Bond's background is. Wasn't he?
You're not
wasn't
meant
he?
to.
No, but in the last film,
Oh,
wasn't
he's got
he
the story.
adopted
He went
by a
to Eton.
supervillain?
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for anyone that haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, sorry. I mean, catch up. Also, it's not a crucial. It's sort of ignored.
It is a bit hero.
It's exposed as a plot. It's a plot fault. I've identified a plot fault.
Oh, I'm just waiting to hear from the Birmingham Spies.
And well, they're one of the best ice hockey teams I've ever seen.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
246 has texted, I was a spy, fact, and I'm from Birmingham, further fact. And then he adds, or she adds in brackets, actually Solihull, full disclosure. I just wonder about that.
Why?
I mean, do you think they were a good spy if they're texting a commercial radio show?
I know, but they're
telling
talking
us?
about the old days. It's like that spy catcher book, you know, once you've retired, you're allowed.
You're allowed.
I think Stella Rimington, she brought a book out and stuff.
That's true, yeah. That's true.
Could be her.
It might
Where's she
be.
from?
We've had this other spy
Solihull?
message. Did you see this, Al, from 681?
No, I don't
In
think
Leicester.
So.
In Leicester, also the Midlands.
Hey, Mark Selby, he'd be a good James Bond.
Yes.
We had the first ever private detective, Frank. Kind of a spy.
Yeah?
On London Road in Leicester, there is a series of small sculpture-type things of him in his various disguises on one of the buildings.
Really?
It's Helen Foy.
Well, that's very...
First ever private detective.
Yeah.
That's some
Seems-
boast.
What,
about,
if there was another one and they just kept it
What
private?
about Brother Cadful?
Whose style you've stolen, may I say, when you go for the hoodies?
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
you do.
indeed.
Cadfile hoodie
He
sometimes.
was...
Actually, it's...
and then there's the Hunchback in those C.J. Sansom books.
Name of the Rose, he's been going a bit, that one.
Yeah, they've been around for ages. The
Anyways.
Private Dicks, as they used to be called.
I'm going to change the subject. So I've got a clothing dilemma, and
I noticed. I wasn't going to bring it up.
No,
Have you got
not
a headache?
Not today with what I'm wearing, but I've had I mean, as has been covered on this show in the past, I am apparently careful with the pennies and pounds.
Yes.
I had a heartbreaking episode recently. I lost a shoe, I think in a hotel. But you know when you wear
Whoa.
black shoes? You know when you have to wear black?
What do you mean?
Well-
I don't like this story, it's sleazy.
Well, you know I do quite a lot of black tie entertainment.
Oh, yes, of course.
And you can't wear, you can't wear a tuxedo and trainers. So I only wear black...
And if you work in PR.
I wear black brogues, yeah, exactly, but I'm not. I wear black brogues for that, and I got home and I could only find one, and I assumed that it was somewhere else in the house, and it wasn't.
Oh,
so I've
annoying.
replaced
It's funny,
a pair
when
of...
I did a corporate with Red Rum, he lost a shoe.
yeah.
And he just got one. He just got one replaced.
Yeah. But somebody else then had bad luck when they found it upside down, didn't they? That's the problem.
Well, we
with
don't know that
Lovely.
we don't know that it was upside down.
All right, yeah, you're right.
So, okay, so you've got... It's a new shoe, the one that remains. It's in good condition.
The one that remains is perfectly fine. It's, probably, I would imagine it's been worn 10 or 20 times.
Is it a dress shoe
But
then?
only, yeah, it's a black brogue. It's a simple
okay.
black brogue. But now I'm left with it in the house, and in the spirit of the environment, I don't like to throw away just a perfectly
Yes, it's
fine shoe. What can I...
a widowed shoe.
Exactly. And, my wife is one of those people that uses, found objects in a skip, like, oh, there's an old sink, we could use that as a flower bed, that sort of
Oh,
stuff.
that's good.
I'm thinking, what can
Well,
I
you
do
could
with this
use the
shoe?
shoe
What
as a
could I-
flower bed.
Maybe I could have a little herb garden in there.
Paint it white.
This has all turned out rather fortuitous, because I'm going to a ceremony this afternoon in which we're toppling a local statue of Saddam Hussein.
Oh, perfect.
And I was
really
thinking,
annoyed
what
that
I
I've
would
left
like
it
to
at
do is
home.
race forward and hit it with a shoe. And I thought, but, what am I going to do with the other one? And now, isn't it funny how things work out in life?
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
Cost this shoe dilemma that I've got, I think, you've recently been obsessed with does that still happen type moments.
Yes.
It did occur to me, does shoe shops still have a row of single shoes outside?
Oh, yes.
Does that still happen?
I don't know
That
about
can I sell 'em
necessarily
cheap?
outside, but they certainly... I've
They
seen
used to
them
be on the
inside.
pavement, though, didn't they? They used to
They
be
do.
outside.
I
Like, there would be a
remember
couple
that.
of shelves of just single... I mean, back in those days, this would have been problem solved, wouldn't it? I could have just helped myself to...
Do people wear odd shoes? You see people like self-styled colourful characters in odd socks. Do people wear odd shoes? Do they need
I'm
to
sure
be the
it's
same?
happened.
I haven't noticed it.
But it could, I mean, it's the sort of thing somebody will do it.
Yeah,
won't they?
I think I did it accidentally once with 2 brown Cloggs, but not
I think
No one would have noticed.
I saw Richard Measey do it. You know, the guy who was in Blue Astrid. Yeah.
Blue
Remember him?
Astrid.
Do you remember him?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, he was.
I love all these. Are they
fantastic
all
actor.
on BBC One? These
He was
dramas?
the
They are.
psycho in Medway.
oh yeah, Medway.
Yeah,
The Birmingham spy drama.
that's,
Medway.
Frank, they're always a psycho. These people, aren't they?
they're always
everyone.
And that's their breakthrough role as a psycho.
not in our house. When you say single shoe and things, do they still do that? My first thought was, of course, the disciplining of children. But I don't think they do that anymore.
Oh,
No.
Frank.
No, what?
I'm just saying, no, people don't do that anymore.
I was thinking I could fill it with concrete and use it as cruise control in the car for long journeys.
That's an excellent idea.
I mean, I'll be honest, but my car's got cruise control, but I like to save it. Like, I don't want to use it
What
if I don't
about-
have to.
What about a nice little bottle opener? Use the heel. Yeah, you use the heel to open a bottle.
Can you
couldn't
do that?
Yeah, spray it silver. Lovely.
All right.
Use the-
Et voila.
What about a receptacle for shoelaces, nail varnish, and other foot-based items?
Right.
Tell you what,
Extraordinary concept. Who has a receptacle for shoe?
No, but if you've got a
feet-based
shoe-
item.
Yeah,
You think,
that'll
oh,
free up a cupboard, won't it?
No, but anything foot-centric, you'd think, oh, that'll be in the shoe.
That's a good idea.
Corn callus cream, Frank.
Do you?
Corn plasters.
Can you buy toe floss?
Toe floss.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
for getting that, those bits of wedges of black you get between the toes, for
Oh.
getting those out.
But Frank, I'll tell you what you
That's a
could
good
put.
idea.
Have you ever seen the foam things we ladies put in between our toes when we're painting?
Oh, yeah. Toe dividers.
The end of that sentence was, I could see my whole career looming before me. I have seen those things, yes. They sort of separate the toes for varnishing purposes, yes.
The separators.
Yeah, you could put those in the, what we'll now call the shoe.
When you said shoelaces a minute ago, I thought of, the sweets shoelaces, like the...
No one put
licorice-
those in a shoe, even if you've only worn it 20 times.
I was thinking I could rinse it out and have it on a coffee table as a sweet bowl.
Yeah.
Of course, it was
Just some pick and mix in there.
It was a tradition to drink champagne from a lady's slipper not so long ago.
Depends
You're
on the
right, I
lady, really.
could,
I mean, there's some I wouldn't want to do that.
Fill up my
Frank.
brogue with
No.
real ale.
It died out in the First World War because of the rise of trench foot.
Jeff Owen has tweeted the show saying I use spare shoes as cup holders in my car.
That
is a good idea, isn't it?
Brilliant. I like these spare shoes that Jeff.
Tried to think what's happened, but
No, I'm worried that now we've laughed at Jeff might be an amputee, and the next text is going to be. I've had another text from a spy. Oh no, the ink's just disappeared. On it.
Absolute
Absolute
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had so many responses to
About my shoe.
what
Single
should
shoe.
Alan do with his single shoe.
yeah.
You're rapping.
For example, Adrian says fill with concrete and use as a novelty weight for holding a shed door or similar open.
A doorstop.
Yeah,
Indeed. That's a good idea.
I like that.
John Doe.
Laced or unlaced? Is it a lace
It
up?
still has the lace, yeah. So even that could be reused if I didn't use the whole shoe.
Well, you could tie. If you lost that thing that looks like a pine cone on the bottom of a cuckoo clock,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
could get the weight. You could measure the weight exactly and secure it to the broken chain with a shoelace.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Melanie Mason, how about planting herbs in it? Hipsters would love it.
That's the sort of thing that I'm definitely up for. Yeah, because I'm part hipster.
Laura says if he's got a solo sock, he could make a lovely bed for a rodent. I've done that
yeah?
a few times. Anyway, moving on. John Doe says a conversational ashtray. Love.
Oh,
What happened to the ashtray?
very old school.
Do you
There'll be people unemployed who are in the ashtray business listening to this. That will be like a punch in the stomach. for them.
Furious, yeah.
Frank, do you remember the ones that were like stands? That was a very 70s thing.
Oh, yeah. The ones that you pressed on the top and two doors open, like a hanging.
Yeah.
Rebecca.
But all those metal ones and that from Cobbs, maybe you could reverse this process and turn those into footwear.
Yeah.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah. If you
That could
welded
go with the
two of
rest
those
of my
together.
chainmail outfit, couldn't it?
Exactly.
That I don't currently wear.
Chainmail, I mean, that's you never see that anymore.
Yeah, and also you've got to think about it. If you make metal shoes out of old ashtrays, that's going to really slow you down at customs when you're going through the.
What I'm thinking of
It's
is
bad enough we have to take our trainers off.
I'm just thinking when you have to nip in the garden. You know when it starts raining and you think, oh, the washing's out,
Yes.
and your shoes are upstairs by the front door. You just
yes.
put the ashtray clogs on and go out in those.
Oh, I love the ease with which you've just allowed them to enter your life. They're now just the ashtray clogs.
Or, and with those ones from the 60s, they'd be your high heels. Those ones on the stands.
Yes.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Rebecca in Bradford has said, "Hi guys, I run to work and take my clothes in a rucksack." That's it. No, it doesn't. I run to work and take my clothes in a rucksack. After showering and getting dressed, I realised I had odd shoes, one navy blue, one black. Taxi home to swap.
No.
Should have ran
for
it.
one day, just wear them.
Yeah, or gone barefoot.
Or
Just go barefoot.
That guy, you know that guy in sales who you fancied for ages? He probably would have said, hey, black and blue today. And you'd have said, yeah.
Oh, is he?
The next thing you know.
Where's he
Man, it
from?
sounds like something out of Dempsey and Makepeace.
It's like Lloyd Grossman or
Straight
something.
I've never
American.
met anyone in sales.
Still, hey.
Black
Like
and blue
Black and
today.
blue. Why has he got a weird Birmingham meets Wisconsin accent?
Do you not know Dave Swift from sales?
No, but I want to hear more of him. I
I
like
don't
him.
know why it's such a problem to wear odd shoes. I might start doing it myself.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
People are so
If you're gonna do that-
straight-laced. Oh, no,
Straight-laced.
Remember,
and
you
all
were,
straight elasticated.
you were
Sorry.
talking last week. No, I'm sorry. You were talking last week about putting a Superman outfit on.
Yeah.
And I advise not to do that in a dentist waiting room. Just because people might
I
question
think it was
your...
Batman, wasn't it?
Oh, Batman, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah.
Superman would be ridiculous.
But if you had odd shoes with that... What shoes, by the way, what shoes do you wear with the superhero, with the Batman costume? Is it wellies?
When I was a kid, I used to wear wellies, yeah, and swimming trunks over jeans.
Oh, nice.
And
Yes.
a tank top, I recall.
But yes. I
Ian
forgot the last
Angel.
thing. Oh, Ian Angel's in.
Ian
There's gonna
Angel
be
has
something
texted,
about,
surely the most obvious thing to grow in...
Shuley. I'm surprised he missed that one.
No, he hasn't done surely. He said surely the most obvious thing to grow in one shoe is hops. And that is excellent, I think. I think that's
Absolutely.
great.
Well, we've had another suggestion. You can use it for shaking at people out of your window after they cut you up in traffic to release your frustration. Just keep it in the car.
I prefer a clenched fist.
Yeah, me too.
I hope they don't use just that as the trailer.
It's funny you should mention that, actually. I had something of an altercation with an angry driver last week.
What
he
happened?
I was behind him, and he was, you know, when someone's visibly...
Is this in a cab?
He was I was driving my car
Okay.
behind this guy, and he was veering from lane to lane because he was bending down to pick something up that was in his passenger footwell. I don't know if he was changing CDs
Oh,
or if he
no,
was
it would've
after...
been a phone.
He was adjusting his concrete-filled chew cruise drive
he might-
device.
He might have been reaching for a Murrayman. I don't know what it was.
Or a
but he
marshmallow.
was waving along, and I waited behind him, and then as I overtook when he finally got into his own lane, he glanced sideways at the same time as I glanced to make sure that he wasn't, and then he got very angry that I'd glanced sideways at him, and he caught up with me, and from his car he was doing wild arm gestures.
Really?
But repeatedly saying, "Are you alright?" And I could see that he was going, "Are you alright? Are you alright?" You know, through the glass.
Was he in an ambulance?
No, he was driving his car, but it was a bit mixed messages, because he was clearly really angry, but he kept saying, "Are you alright?" And so I kept saying, "Yes." Like, back through the window, I kept going,
He didn't know what he was toying with.
I know.
"What, with me?"
Yeah, that Lancashire's Bruce Lee. Weren't you just see that? What is the point? What is the point of putting those hours into martial arts if you couldn't just stick a foot through at the passenger window and take his head off?
Well, how long
That's
do you
what
think
I
my leg
think.
is that it's going right through his car? What am I, Mr.
You
Gadget?
should have
Imagine
just
it's a killing
whipped off
machine.
your kung fu belt And waved it
Yeah.
at him. That's what I would have done. Do you wear the kung fu belt all the time?
Just mouth the words "next services"
Next services.
and get there and
Do the kung fu.
absolutely destroy.
I just drove off. I drove off.
What
I'm
is
not
it
going to lie. I
for?
drove
What-
off giggling.
Well, if you're going to be fast as lightning, which I've heard you are,
Kung fu.
haven't you heard that, Frank?
I've absolutely heard that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, what's the point of having that? That's like having a revolver in the glove compartment and not using it.
Yeah.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
So, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show or the shoe on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
You know, we were asking earlier, well, I specifically was, whether we thought there were any spies working in the Birmingham area. Mm-hmm. And we have had a missive in from one such spy. I am a spy, still working in Brum.
Wow.
I work for Farm Foods and have to travel incognito and compare prices at the nearest branches of Iceland.
Hold on, I don't often say this to spies, but too much information.
And people think the Cold War is over.
Oh, Iceland, come on!
That's from Clive. Oops.
That's a nice little work joke, though,
It's
isn't
a
it?
sort
People
of
love their work
spying.
Yeah.
I
joke.
suppose
don't
store detectives and that are sort
they?
of spying.
Yeah, mystery shopper, all that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. There must be more spying goes on than we
I
realise.
didn't know what a mystery shopper was until I was in Doctor Who.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
in the script of the episode I was in.
Oh, yeah.
And I had no idea. I had
That's
to
such a
Google it.
down-to-earth way to find out.
Some
thought-
people Google. I go and feature in an internationally famous drama.
Well done, you. I mean, you got a lot from that, actually,
Oh, so
looking
much.
back on it.
So
Not
much.
just the learning of the mystery shopper phrase, but...
You got merch.
Oh,
You got people turning up with the glossy stills outside Absolute Radio,
Yeah,
wanting
love
to
that.
put them on the old eBay.
Yeah. It's all
It's all
good.
there.
All
Tokens
good.
10x8s. Love them.
The Cold War. It's good. Good text, that, I like.
Anyway.
I'm still... It's... Yeah.
Anyway, what else? What's in the newspapers? What about that? Not the snooze papers, mained.
We should talk about this party next door chap.
Yeah, we should.
That Kyle Jenner, whose work I'm not
Kylie
actually...
Jenner.
Is it Kylie?
Yeah, Kyle's the mother.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really that up on these
Kyle
things.
is the mother.
Yeah.
That family's quite hard to follow the history.
Kyle's the mother.
Did
Kylie's the...
Which one used
What?
to be a...
Oh, Kris Jenner. She just corrected me. Do you know, that's the only time Sarah on the show has felt compelled to actually interject publicly. And she went, Kris Jenner, with a note of panic.
Now,
She's
let me-
right.
How can I put this? Did Kris Jenner used to be a gentleman?
No,
No, okay.
That's Bruce Jenner. Well, it's
I know
Caitlyn.
it used to be Bruce Jenner.
It's Caitlyn Jenner
Nightmare.
now.
It's a
I
nightmare, this
remember
family
Bruce
to
Jenner
work
when he
out.
was...
Okay, here it is. Caitlyn Jenner. Oh, I can't even...
Where
bother
does
to go into
Caitlyn
it.
Jenner's... What's
I'm not
Caitlyn
answering that
Jenner's-
question.
No.
Leave it, Frank.
No, okay. I was told it was in a safety deposit
Leave
box
it.
in Zurich.
Let's just say they know what to do with a spare shoe. Put it that way.
Anyway, what is his... What happened then?
For comic effect, I made
It would have
the,
served you
arm
right
of
if
my-
yours had fallen off. What is Kylie Jenner's relationship to
She's the daughter of Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner
Is that correct, Sarah?
and Kris Jenner used to be a gentleman.
No!
What is the
Kris
relation?
Jenner
What's
is
the
the
name
mo-
of
is
the
the
one?
woman.
What's
She's
the
the
name of
mother.
the one who used to be a gentleman?
Caitlyn.
Caitlyn. So what is Caitlyn's relationship to
That's the
Kylie?
father.
Okay.
Okay, have we
Okay.
got this?
Right. So Kylie Jenner is young. She's a young.
She's the one with the
girl.
big lips.
Right.
Oh.
18
Okay.
years old she is, and she's got a new boy.
Oh, that's a bit Daily Mail reporter.
She's got a new boy. That's the story, isn't it?
Well-
She's got a new boy.
She used to date Tiger, and now she's going out with Party Next Door. Because
party
Tiger
next-
dumped her, so she's going out the party next door.
Not Tiger of the golf links.
No,
He's gone quiet.
he has gone quiet. That is the talk of the town.
Because
He's gone
I
quiet.
heard, and I'm not one
Where's
to
he
gossip,
gone then?
that he was something of a ladies' man.
I
I heard that. I heard he put it about.
yes,
Well.
it definitely was.
I did a pun and no one picked up on it. He picked
Put
up on
it
it.
about.
No, that
yes,
is good.
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't pronounce
That
it
is
properly.
good.
That's good. Thank God you didn't do a wood joke.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So Party Next Door,
Party Next Door. I mean, what kind of handle is that?
he's a Canadian rapper.
Must really confuse the postman. Because, you know, when
Next Door.
party next door, so you get to deliver it, and you think, oh no, this is the party next... Oh.
I need to go one down. You know,
Well, I hope he doesn't move into your old flat, because the Archbishop of Canterbury's going to get all manner of all-night ravers turning up
Well, isn't that...
every time they ring the doorbell.
The odd thing with calling himself party next door, is there any bigger downer in life than that moment when you realise there's a party next door?
oh man, it's like a Friday night in a travel lodge for me when I come here for the show. Like, Party Next Door. It's the next... Oh, brilliant. Gotta get up at 6.
Is it capital P?
Oh, these
And then-
people don't do capitals.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's probably...
It's trendy types.
It's probably P and then at, and
It's
then
all a bit-
RT-IE.
It's all a bit-
Party.
E. Cummings.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I don't know how familiar he is with the work of E. Cummings, but he could be.
I mean, in the phone book, is he next door, party?
Yeah. Well, we should say his real name, apparently,
Yes.
sadly, is Jaron Anthony Braithwaite, which if
Yeah.
you
Oh,
remove
well,
the
fair
Jaron,
enough.
he sounds like he's from Huddersfield or something, just Anthony Braithwaite.
Tony Braithwaite.
Doesn't it?
He's
gone
He's
from-
a window
He's in
cleaner in
sales.
You
Ravensthorpe or
see,
something.
Braithwaite, he's gone from sitcom neighbour to neighbour from hell.
And
Thank
is he,
you.
should I know him? Is he a big famous...
No, shouldn't know him.
No.
You don't even know Kylie Jenner. Why are you going to know Party Next Door?
I don't know anybody.
You might know of his
He
brother.
got the name.
His
Do you know how
brother's,
he got the name?
His brother's Party Wall. Party Wall Insulation, that's the cousin.
Basement
No, but
conversion is the dad.
The family name is next door, not party. Remember?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's
you're
why
right.
his basement
Silly
conversion
joke.
is the father.
Silly.
Now, he got... Do you know how he got the name?
Go on.
It's a setting in a studio, apparently. So it's for sort of sound FX, if you like.
Oh, it's that
if you want it to sound a bit like...
It's Atmos.
I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Atmos is his uncle.
Shall we do?
Shall we do our Party Next Door?
Let's try. You know, it's all muttering sort of.
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
and
come on
that's
then.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, party next door. Yes, how I was
Wonderful
saying to
Alan
Steve,
Abrams
he
play I saw
he's
the
really
other
had
day.
the best
And
time
you know,
there.
it's one of his
And I
finest.
said, well, why not? You know, why not just
Lovely
hanging up
tunes.
by the
Come on,
laces?
more.
Funny, isn't it?
Yeah, so you have that running at the
Yeah.
bottom, and they think, oh, these people, they live
Having
in
a right laugh.
But
Yeah.
Frank, to quote a friend of the show, Jermaine, I don't think it's that kind of party.
No,
Is it really?
and he is dating.
It's going to be more raucous, isn't it?
Yes. But I imagine he's she goes out with rappers almost exclusively.
It
Kylie.
seems, yeah. She's
Yeah.
gone from a tiger to a party.
I suppose there, you know.
Why can't you go out with normal names?
Yeah.
Tiger and Party Next Door.
Imagine if she
Whatever next.
Imagine if she breaks up with Party Next Door and then she goes home and says to her parents, Kevin, meet my new boyfriend Kevin. They'll be going,
Yeah.
what? Not Tiger or Party or Anvil or...
They've done
There is
that.
an Anvil, isn't there? Anyway, I saw that they had diamond battles.
They had a
on
diamond
Instagram.
off.
I love
They
you
did.
talking about diamond
They
battle.
had a diamond
Well, the
off.
fact that I said Instagram gave me a little sizzle of excitement.
Yeah.
A diamond battle is where you show your diamonds and
Yeah.
and someone else shows their diamonds, and then there's some sort of judgment.
It's a
You
bling,
basically-
bling off.
Yeah,
isn't it?
you show
Like,
your ice.
When did it
show
happen?
your eyes.
When,
Ice!
Oh,
when can you identify that moment in history when diamonds became the great signpost for stupidity and bad taste? There used to be such an exclusive, like, you know,
Yeah.
Elizabeth Taylor and stuff like that.
Mm.
And I know so associate it with, like, you know, jacuzzis.
yeah.
And wearing moccasins with no socks.
And
no,
not reading
no disrespect
books.
to the Native Americans. I mean,
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
suit. It's like, who would you want now? A big diamond anything?
No.
They ought to be worth nothing. They should have been, just by sheer good taste, their value should have been
Just
utterly
plunged.
I mean, the phrase "diamonds are a girl's best friend," isn't that the most profoundly sexist thing that was ever said?
Yeah, that's not
No,
nice,
I've heard worse.
Yeah, but never mind what happens in the breaks. I suppose it's more likely that diamonds are a pearl's best friend.
Huh?
If one associates that precious gems basically, mingle, hang out together.
Yeah.
Could be a good, it could be like a little twist on Romeo and Juliet if you had like a thing set with
Yeah.
pot of gems and then a diamond fell in love with a pearl and caused all sorts of consternation.
I mean, I didn't...
You got that ballet link to hand?
No, it's all right. I'm just going to list some actors who might play James Bond instead.
Absolute
Absolute
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had a text in from 606. I love a in a text.
Yes.
I'd probably have read this anyway, even if I didn't like it, just because I like Re party next door. Why should he be exempt from the proper noun rule of capitalisation? Who does he think he is? He's done it all lowercase.
Well, we know who
Party
he thinks he is.
We know
Yeah.
exactly that. He thinks he's not Braithwaite, he's party next door.
But E.E. Cummings, the poet, used to use all lower register. He's not. They think they're doing it first, these people.
Exactly. I have a question about the diamond off that they had. You know, the
Oh, yeah.
diamond battles.
I call them Ice Wars.
I saw those photos, and they
Cold
both
War.
had
Yeah, lovely, Frank.
they had very jewel encrusted. I think the article says they're Rolex watches.
Yeah.
They're really, really like shiny watches. Now I wear a watch that's got a black face and white hands. It's very easy to read. I don't know if you guys have got diamond watches. Are they
No.
are they difficult to tell the time on? Because when you look at them, you go, "Oh God, my retinas! That's right in my eyes."
Can't see, yeah.
Is that a problem with them? Because I would want it to be a watch.
I don't
first
know.
and
I'm with
foremost.
Frank on the diamond watch. I don't see the appeal.
Do you think that's why they wear sunglasses indoors in
Yeah.
case they look at their
I
watch?
think diamonds are the new shell suit. Well, I once interviewed Prince Nazim with David Baddiel. And
yeah.
he said that the Sultan of Brunei had given him a gold watch that was embezzled with diamonds. And we were both too frightened to say anything about it.
Come upon
With
it.
him being
Did
a
you
boxer.
leave it?
We left it.
You did well.
I didn't even give him the glad eye.
I should think not.
No.
Can I tell you about my night out this week? Because we haven't discussed. You know, I went to the Archivas.
Oh, sure.
Do you know what the Archivas are?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were nominated, Frank.
Our
We're in the
readers,
biz, we're
yes,
in
I
the
know
biz.
I was nominated, but I had other work.
Yeah.
It was the Archivas. Do I know what they are? Well, it's an award for commercial radio.
Is that what it is?
I'm
don't
going
know
to be
what-
honest, I didn't know the result, but given that we're 2.5 hours into
not
the
the
show and
cup
it's just
final, Al.
being mentioned, I'm assuming Frank hasn't won this. that might have
Well,
been in the first link, had he?
I went, frankly, because I thought I was going to go up and it was my big moment. And I was going to make a
Did
speech.
you have a speech prepared?
Yeah, of course I did.
Do it now.
No, I didn't
That's
have
a
a
good
speech
idea.
prepared.
That would be great, you could do it now.
I went with Daisy, our producer, who Frank had a go at last week because she said she was going to get her hair blow dried. And he said, I didn't think you were like that.
Well, she's obviously been drinking out of your cup. So you went to the
So we
Archivas.
went
I've
to the
never been
Archivas.
to the Archivas.
Wow.
Because I'm always the bridesmaid, never the bride at the Archivas.
Yeah.
Which is, it's nice to be nominated.
Why do you think that is?
Less nice to be rejected.
I know. Well, at least you get the mention. It's
Look,
nice.
it's fine.
So they have it at the Roundhouse in Camden, which is a bit of a sort of gothy rock venue.
Can I ask you a question? It's a company,
theatre.
is it a company, Archiva?
Is it an insurance
think
firm?
it's,
I don't know.
I think it's
There's
a-
the sponsors.
I think it's a telecommunications
yeah,
company.
and they sponsor it.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
always the case with sponsors. No one ever knows what they actually do.
I'm going insurance. I don't know why.
No, it's telecoms.
Okay,
It's
telecoms.
Like phones and media.
I
and
think
stuff.
they-
Okay, ballet link.
I think it's malt whiskey.
Okay, I'll go whiskey. I'll have an Archiva on the rocks. Love
There
it,
you
Frank.
go.
They'd done something which I think might have been... I think it was an odd decision.
You can say that again.
which was when we arrived. They have these very trendy brass bands now, and they do covers of
Are
things.
they trendy?
Oh yeah, they're very hipster.
Yeah.
They've all got beards, and they'll do covers of Chemical Brothers or like Beyonce.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember. They might have been doing Crazy in Love or something like that when we walked in. But they were all standing behind, about 12 of them behind the reception. So it looked a bit odd. They were like, it was like a hotel or something. It was like a weird Crossroads motel with sort of trumpeters. But the trouble is, they were by the door, so no one could hear you announce your name as you walked in. So there's a woman with the clipboard, and she says, "What's your name?" And then all you can hear is the trumpet and the trombone doing Crazy in Love. She gave up on me and Daisy in the end. I don't think she should have asked my name, frankly.
Be a great gatecrasher method. Get your mates in the brass band
That's a good idea.
before, and then you wouldn't be heard.
Good idea.
She sort of gave up, Frank, because all the trombone was like, "Wah, wah, 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 wah," and she just waved us in.
And was the clarinet going? Oh no, it wasn't. I'm going to play.
The OC fell over.
We'll come back to that.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
So I'm at the Archivas this week with my Absolute Radio family. I'm on a table with The Breakfast Show, actually. So I was saying I felt like, as you know, when a Hollyoaks actor gets a part in Coronation Street or Emmerdale, like goes from the cafe to... I felt a bit weird with the other ones. But I do have... Can I just say to all my radio brethren out there, if you've got an award, take your lanyard off before you go up to the stage. People don't do that at the Oscars. They don't have a lanyard on.
What did the lanyards
lanyards
signify that you
on.
could get in?
I presume so, but I mean, it probably gave them a free beer or something, but come on. It's not very Clooney, is it? It's not an award ceremony.
No.
Anyway, the OC fell over.
How? How did that happen?
I don't know, he styled it out. One minute he was up and he was just kind of, you know, hail fellow, well-metting to all his radio friends. Next thing I know, he was on the floor.
Was this
Oh,
on?
dear.
Was he heading towards the stage to collect something or?
Oh, no, I don't... no, I hope not, anyway.
Oh, right, okay. You know what might have happened?
He won, and Absolute Radio won.
You know
But
what might have happened for
What?
the falling
Aneurysm?
over? I was thinking he might have lost one of his dress shoes and just been off balance.
Oh, that was the chances. If they
You know,
match-
it's going about. There's something going around.
Frank, a terrible thing happened, though.
I know.
Other than you not winning. Other than you not winning, a terrible thing happened.
Go on.
Even by my standards of embarrassing. So, I had tweeted that I was at the event, and a producer friend of mine that I know, who I worked with once with David Baddiel, responded and said, "Oh, what table are you on? I'll come and see you." And I thought, oh, that's nice, but I didn't want to reply publicly, so I thought I'll direct message him. Are you aware of this? It's like texting, but you do it via
It's
Twitter.
not whispering, is it?
So, yeah, so only you and the other person can see the message.
Cyber whispering.
Yeah, because I didn't want to announce where I was to everyone, and it's of little interest to others. So I just said, "Table 11, exclamation mark, come on over, darling. Kiss, kiss."
Oh.
Why the exclamation mark?
Just because I was, you know, there was
Exclaiming.
certain merriment going on, and it was just, you know, I was
Okay.
excited, and I wanted to communicate that. Put my phone down, didn't hear from him, thought that's a bit strange. 10 minutes later, I checked my message to see if it had sent, and it had sent, but to Ross Noble.
Oh.
Who would have received a message from me saying, "Table 11, exclamation mark, come on over, darling." And probably thought Table 11 was some sleazy
Yes.
nightclub somewhere.
Or some sort of euphemism for...
Yes! I mean, I know he's surreal, but still.
Yeah.
So can I just say to Ross, if you're listening, I deleted the message, but I think he must have seen it. I'm so sorry, I wasn't propositioning you. I know you were at home playing with your motorbike parts, whatever you do. I'm so
I
sorry.
don't think that's a euphemism we can use on the radio.
I was playing with your Triumph. I was hoping you were going to say, turned out he was also on table 11 and I hadn't recognised him.
No, but how embarrassing.
Yeah,
Poor
well-
Ross. I didn't mean it in a sleazy way, obviously. Anyway, I was sad for you, Frank, but I was pleased because...
Oh, really?
Well, no, but Absolute won, And
that's good.
And Paul, who's our boss, he won, and I was next to him. Can I just say, I was hoping for a bit of light on me, and maybe he'd kiss me on the cheek so I could be part of it. And he just walked up, and I didn't get a hug or a kiss. I wasn't involved at all.
I'm not networking enough. That's my problem. I need to be doing more telecommunications. Hanging
Frank.
around.
What about
Mast? If I can find a local mast, I could just hang around there. Someone will turn up.
Yeah.
Frank? What about when I stole the award?
Did you steal the award?
Yes, I've got it at home.
No,
Did you know
didn't.
that? I did. Daisy, didn't I?
You've got an Arkiva at home.
Well, I just saw it on the chair, and everyone was drunk. These people drink a lot, and they weren't noticing.
This is a joke, is it?
No,
so
this is not.
you've got what was
It just says Absolute Radio. It's in a little frame, and it's got a thing.
Well, you're a representative. I suppose you're as entitled
a
as
theft was
anyone.
committed. So if anyone wants
You're
it, I've got
joking.
it. I'm not joking, Daisy. Am I joking?
If you want a spare,
got it.
if you want a
I
hold,
nearly brought it in this morning.
if you want a holder for it, I've got a shoe going spare. That's perfect.
Let's just put the corner in.
Yeah.
Is it what is it? Square?
Yeah, it's a big frame. I mean, there's
okay.
not that much money's been spent on it. It's Arkiva's.
Yeah.
But I put 7 years in. This is what I'll get
Good
back.
point.
I don't see what I think we should. Everyone at the station should get a copy, shouldn't they?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know where we go from there. You haven't really stolen it. I keep looking for help, but she won't give me any.
I'm not. I swear I've stolen it.
Wow.
Imagine if she goes to jail for this with a blanket over her head
You
for
say
the trial.
stealing. Isn't it partly mine?
Do you think
Good point.
Pickles the dog is listening to this and thinks it's time I made a comeback?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I don't know how aware of the work of Pharrell Williams you are, guys, but you may well be. You're not aware.
I know Pharrell.
He's bringing
Was
out
he in
a doll.
the Methuselah conundrum?
Oh, that is a
you see
great
that?
box set. Love
Yeah.
it. I mean, I really went through that box set.
That was on
one of
Channel
those
5,
ones.
Frank, wasn't it, that one?
Yeah, and he was
Very
in,
Moorish, that one. I don't think I've
Mel Over High, I think was the first thing I saw him in.
I don't think I've been as into a box
Oh, was that
set
Saran Jones in that? I love that one.
Oh, good.
as I was into the Bells of Wales. Was it the Bells of
Oh,
Wales?
yeah, the Bells of
That was-
That
I
was a
mean,
great
that was really Moorish. But yeah, he's brought out a doll, or at least he's about to bring out a doll. He previewed it at the
Othello.
end of The Voice, which was a little while ago, but he's...
Othello.
Othello.
He was really Moorish. So a doll, okay.
Yeah.
So I know there will be a point where Absolute are going to have to ask me to leave because I don't know what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
But Pharrell Williams.
I'm not
There'll be
sure
a point
there
when
will...
I'm going to have to leave because I stole the Station of the Year award.
Well,
To be honest, Frank, I don't think they're going to ask you to leave because you don't know what's going on. Because if they were going to, that would have happened years ago, wouldn't it?
That's
Like,
true.
I mean,
so Pharrell Williams.
Pharrell.
Pharrell Williams.
He's
Just call him Pharrell,
Sorry,
Frank.
I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel. That was my references.
He's a singer and
He wears
musical
the
artist.
Vivienne Westwood buffalo hat.
He loves a cowboy hat.
No,
doesn't he?
that's Jamiroquai's.
No, that's not.
Okay.
There's not one person who wears a hat in life.
Is he a rap meister?
No, I think he's
He's a
singer
producer.
more so, and a
Oh, they're
music
all
producer.
produced. Everybody's a producer in the music business.
He's probably been feet. He's probably been feet for
No, you
quite
know
a
that
bit.
song.
You've only got to turn the volume up. You're a producer.
That's
You know
right.
that Happy Now song.
Happy Now is this. It's a nice one.
Because
Not the one that
Nice.
big mouth Billy Bass used to sing.
Yeah.
No.
Go on.
No,
Be happy.
be happy now.
No, not that one.
Okay.
I don't
the
know
other
it. Sing
Well, I
it.
just sung it.
Sing it properly.
It's all high.
I think you'll find that's my car alarm. No.
Okay.
God bless him.
Oh,
huh?
well, we've both had a go at it.
Continued success if you're listening.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I mean, I know you've got a child's birthday this next week, but the doll is going
Yeah.
to cost 24,800
Whoa.
Japanese yen.
Oh, what's
Yeah,
that?
but that's only
£8?
£158.
158
This is a Pharrell
for a
doll.
Pharrell doll.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I'd like to
goodness
get
me.
one.
Would you?
We don't even know who he is.
You don't know who he is.
Sort of-
Why would you do that?
I mean, you just
Because
love a cowboy
I
hat,
can't
don't you?
possibly be disappointed because I've no idea what he looks like.
It
looks a lot like him.
It does.
I like the idea that one's initial contact with a celebrity is through their action figure before you actually know them. £158.
Yeah.
Go on,
Yeah.
I'll take it. How much is a Beat Baby?
I don't
Have
know
you tried that?
I don't know what a Beat Baby is.
Oh, I know. They're the shoes on the other foot, as they say in Alan Cochrane's house. And yes, so thank you so much for listening this morning. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.